Hello, this is Dr. Taye Lulu. So, a few days ago, I remember that I promised I was going to do a detailed video on how our children can handle failure. A lot of adolescents, young adults, even younger children do not know how to react to failure. They do not know how to handle failure. They do not know how to rise above failure. We need to let them know that failure can be a part of life. Failure can be, it can happen to anyone and it doesn't change you. Let's teach, okay, let me not say let's. I'm going to be teaching the children how to rise above failure, how to have the right attitude to failure, letting them know that they are not the failure that happened to them, but that failure is an event that happened to them. They are not the actual failure. All right. The failure was an event. There's a difference between failure as a person and failure as an event. Do you understand? So failure shouldn't define a person. Failure shouldn't change your perspective about where you are going to, your goal, your future, your ambition. It should only motivate you better, not redefine your zeal about life, not, dimming the light of your zeal and optimism as you grow on in life. So, one of the founders of IBN, the IBN company, they had one of their engineers, and the engineer made a mistake that cost the IBN company about 600,000 US dollars. And so the one of these founders, a significant, member of the, founding, board, he called the engineer, he summoned him. And the engineer already, he knew what he had done, he knew the error he had committed, and how this error had cost the company about 600,000 US dollars. And so when he was summoned, he already knew he was about to be fired, to be sacked. And when he got to this boss, and the boss asked him, "Do you know why I called you?" He said, "Yes, I know why you called me. You called me because you want to lay me off, you want to fire me, you want to relieve me of my job." But this employer said, "No, I'm not about to sack you. I just spent $600,000 training you. Why should I allow anybody else to hire your new experience?" The employee looked at him. What was he saying? Yes, the mistake you made is an experience for you. I know you are never going to make that kind of mistake again. Rather, you are better now because you wouldn't want to walk that route in the course of discharging your duties anymore. So why would I send you off for you to go and profit another company? Because of course, if I sack you now and you go to another company, you are going to use that value that you have gained from the experience of the failure, meaning you wouldn't commit anything near that again. So I'm not about to lay you off. You are not going to be sacked, So you are going to go back to your job and do it better. What a way to look at failure. I remember that in 2026, about two events happened that was so stirring for me. A student in Obafemi Awolowo University, a medical student, failed his final exam in school and he committed suicide. Another student at the law school, Yola, maybe because he has been consequently absent in class from lectures, he was denied access from writing his final bar exams. And because he couldn't write that exam, he didn't know how to handle that sense of failure, and he also killed himself. He also died. And so when I was thinking about these two occurrences, it occurred to me in a face-eating dimension that I need to help the children that I'm mentoring and the young adults to understand how to handle failure, the right attitude to failure. A lot of parents do not know that some of their children are already on the verge of suicide. Yes, a lot of children, when they fail, and they don't know what to do, they easily want to commit suicide. First, they enter into depression. They don't want to see anyone. They are at their lowest emotional, reality, and they just want to end it all. And it is unfortunate that a lot of parents don't even know this, that when your child is passing through certain things, that is not the best time to hit it in. That is not the best time to abuse them. That is not the best time to insult them. That is not the best time to curse them and tell them, I know you will not amount to anything. I know you will be a disappointment. The spirit of suicide is really ravaging the youth of today. Only few days ago, not up to 2 weeks, in the couple of a few days, I received about 3 suicide alerts from parents. Oh, ma, please help me. I notice my child is doing like this. He locks himself in the room. He doesn't want to do anything. Oh, ma, please help me. I see sharp objects, knife blades beside my son's bed every morning when he wakes up, blah, 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 blah. Ma, please help me. My daughter is as if she has lost zeal for living. She tells me now that if anything happens to me, mommy, please forgive me. Always know I love you. And this is why parents need to get into the boat of their children's lives. Get into the boat of your child's lives. You need to know what your child is going through. When we were students and we were growing up, for those of us that were science students, we used to do experiments. They would take us to the lab, mix this and this and this together, these chemicals. This will turn to blue, this will turn to pink, this will turn to red. And even as students back then, we were not expecting it to be perfect. After all, it was an experiment. What then happened to us as adults? What then happened to university students? What then happens to, young adults that they believe that there's no room for experiments anymore? Life sometimes can be an experiment. If it doesn't work out the first time, it can still work out later. If you don't give up, if you employ new strategies, you cannot expect to keep doing the same thing and you expect your outcome to be different. You cannot expect to keep using the same cake ingredients, the same cake methods, the same mixing method, the same temperature, the same heat level in the oven, and you're expecting your cake to taste different. It's not possible. It's unrealistic. So if you know you want to rise up from an error you made before, you need to change your strategies. Now let me go back to why I'm here. Now listen to me. If you're an adolescent or young adult, know this. Failure is an integral part of any success. Failure is not the actual problem, but how we react to failure is the problem. Thomas Edison, that created the electrical light bulb, he did not succeed at the first try. He tried it first 5,000 times. It did not work. One of the people that was helping him, one of his lab practical boys, told him, this thing is not working, let's stop. He said, no, I'm not stopping. He tried another 5,000 times before he could succeed. And today, all around the world, we are enjoying the products of his persistence, of his tenacity, of his dogged resilience. Stop throwing in the towel. The best reaction when you fail is not to give up. The best reaction is to try again. The best reaction is to try again. And the more you try, the nearer you are to success. So please, failure is not you. Look at Genesis 39 verse 2. The Bible calls Joseph a prosperous man, that Joseph was a prosperous man. And this was not even a season that he had become a prime minister yet. No, it was the season when he was in servitude, he was in slavery, prison. It was that season that they said he was a prosperous man. That means the prosperity was not in his experiences, it was him. He was a prosperous man. That even though he was going through those things, he was still going to succeed because success was in him. So, who are you as a person? And this is why I intentionally teach the children identity. The power of identity is powerful. Who are you? When you know who you are and when you fail at anything, you can easily detach the event from your person. Yes, I failed at this thing. I am not the failure. It was my strategy and approach to this that did not work. So mindset is everything. When you have a healthy self-esteem, when you have a healthy perception of self, when you have a good identity mentality, then you do not call yourself a failure. The law student who killed himself because he couldn't write his final law exams believed that he was the failure and that he was not worthy to be alive anymore. The medical student that killed himself at OAU believed that he was the failure. You are not the failure. The failure happened to what you did. It is not you. Joseph was a prosperous man, even though he was going to prison, even though he was a slave in Potiphar's house. But he was a prosperous man. That prosperity was him. Stop seeing yourself as the failure because you are not. There are two kinds of knowledge. We have tacit knowledge, we have explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is the knowledge you gain by experience. So failure is a gateway to tacit knowledge. TACIT is a way, I hope I'm right with that spelling. Tacit knowledge, the knowledge you gain by experience. Okay, I did this thing this time, I did not get it right. I failed at it. I am not the failure. Okay, now let me try another method. You have gained the experience to know that you are not to do it that same way again. Now let me try it this way, and you try it another way and you get it right. You try again more intelligently. Okay? So only those who fail greatly can never succeed greatly. It is those who fail greatly that usually succeed greatly because they are gathering experience. They are gathering experience. You build a monument from that failure and you rise above. You pick your sword from the ashes and you try again. You try better. So the actual message in this is that failure is not you. Failure is not you. Failure is not a person. It is an event and it can be tried again. And when you try again more intelligently with the God factor also, you would succeed. So once again, I'm Dr. Taye Lolu. I'm the visionary and founder of the NGO Raising the Bar. If you want me to be your child's mentor in 2026, then you need to register your child into my mentorship program. Contact me on 08038408948. You can either call me or chat me on WhatsApp and let's get the mentorship in motion. The world we grew up in as adults is not the world our children are going up in. It's not the world our children are growing in. So mentorship has become a necessity. Get a mentor for your child. And if you want, you can get me as a mentor for your child. Good afternoon.